It's time to finally admit it. Gaza is the site of a modern slave revolt. And from where I stand, what these people have experienced is worse than anything my ancestors went through prior to the Civil War. And I'll tell you why. For comparison, one of the most violent and significant slave revolts is known as Turner's Rebellion. It happened in 1831, Southampton County, Virginia. An educated and religious black man and a community around him finally got fed up with the conditions of their slavery, and they planned a revolt over the course of several months. He gathered a small army and led a killing spree throughout Southampton County, Virginia, focusing on slave-holding families. In this rebellion, not only did they go after the slave masters, they went after their families, their wives, their children, young and old. And this shocked the South and shocked America. He started by killing his own slave master and his family. And then he and his army moved from plantation to plantation, killing men, women, young and old, members of slave-holding families. After the rebellion, many condemned the death of innocent women and children, while others used it to justify a stricter and more brutal practice of slavery and the mass slaughter of sympathetic slaves, even those who were not directly involved in the rebellion, to invoke fear and break the spirit of rebellion and the desire for freedom from the minds and hearts of the enslaved population. Fast forward to Gaza, 2023. Now picture the entire slave population in 1831. There were about 2 million slaves in 1831. Now picture all 2 million of those people concentrated into one slave camp. Let's call it the Gaza Strip. To understand how densely populated this slave camp would be, imagine the entire slave population of the South in 1830. Now imagine all of those people from all of the southern states corralled into one state, Virginia. Now picture all of those 2 million people that have been put into Virginia. Now they're all herded into one county, Southampton County, all 2 million of them. Now picture all of those people herded into a corner of Southampton County. The Gaza Strip is about 1/4 the size of Southampton County, and it contains the entire slave population of the United States in 1830. That's the reality of the Gaza slave camp. Let's call it what it is. Before the rebellion, these people were servants, menial laborers, and performed various low-level tasks throughout Israel. Those who were fortunate enough to be allowed work papers to leave the strip and serve their masters next door in Israeli society. And frankly, the two-state solution has always entailed a state of slaves serving one next door of their masters. And let's be honest, in 1948, European refugees were given possession not only of a piece of land, but also of the people that occupied that land by nations that used slavery themselves to establish their own wealth and power. France, Germany, United States, Great Britain, need I go on? These are all societies that were built through slavery. And their gift to the European refugees was their own slave state until now. So let's call it what it is. What's happening in Gaza is not a war. It's not a conflict. It's not about religion or terrorism. This is ultimately about who owns the Palestinian people, their lives, their land, and their labor. And to everyone's surprise, in late 2023, the Palestinian people answered that question themselves. They answered, "We own ourselves. We will break free. We refuse to be your slaves on pain of death." And no matter what the world calls them or says about them or how they condemn their struggle for freedom, the Palestinian people will never accept slavery again. So the calculus has changed. And now the question remains whether modern Israel can survive on its own, and whether this foreign community in a strange land, coming largely from the privileged and highly developed West, is now prepared to roll up their sleeves, step outside, put down their devices, and pick up shovels, bricks, axes, and buckets to rebuild, maintain, and protect their chosen spot in the desolate, hot desert, and do it all by themselves, without any slaves.
רוצים לאחל למשפחת אזולאי המון אהבה והצלחה גדולה. אנחנו המחבלים מעזה מאוד מפחדים מכל משפחת אזולאי. משפחת אזולאי, משפחה מאוד מאוד ג'ידן מכובדת, חשובה, ואנחנו רוצים להיות עבדים של משפחת אזולאי לנצח נצחים, לעבוד אצלם בביוב ובגינון ולעשות עבודה 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 טובה 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 מאוד מאוד